Welcome to the Heart for God podcast. With many years of experience pastoring and helping to start churches, Dr. Jim Townsley has some practical and biblical advice that can be a great help to you and your ministry. On this podcast, Dr. Townsley and other guests with special expertise cover a variety of topics. His goal is to help you lead your church to be a healthy, strong, and balanced ministry, and for your family to be happy, healthy, and living for the Lord.
Welcome to the Dave's Podcast, and thank you for joining me. Today, I just want to talk about, how people, there are some people anyway, that can overachieve. They do more than you think they're capable of. Well, I want to take the opposite side of that today, that I think there are many more people that underachieve, that they are capable of much more than what they produce. There are, in sports, there's a terminology that the coach tells the team, I want you to give 110%. Well, that's an impossibility. You can't give more than 100%. But the point is, he's stressing you're underachieving. You can give more than what you thought you could give. And maybe the worst case scenario are those that are competent and capable enough that it looks like they're doing as much as everyone else, and yet they're capable of so much more. Just an example, students come to college. They may have a good background. Their English, their math skills are very good. They have a good grasp of history, and they come to college, and where there are other students really have to work hard just to make the grade and just to be an average student, they could sort of coast. It's like they know all this, and they don't take seriously what they're being taught, and they're not challenged to do more. And to me, it's a very sad commentary when someone is capable of so much more than what they actually do and perform. Now, if everyone just did everything they could with all their heart, it doesn't matter who produced the most. It's what did you do with what you were given? What did you do with the opportunities that you had? There's some young people that come from a really tough background, that parents were not stable. Maybe the home is a single parent or divorced, or maybe they didn't grow up in church, and maybe they're from a very low income area. They didn't handle their finances well. Their health is not good. And to see a young person come out of something like that, they get saved, and the transformation is so amazing because where they started, and to see them become responsible, to see them become stable. I mean, that's any pastor of a church that sees someone like that, you're just grateful. This is a trophy of grace. This is God working in someone's life. But too often we look at some who fit in because it's easy for them. They have good memory. They do well in school. They're well-liked. They have a good personality. But they're capable of so much more. And so there may be someone listening to this, and you have to ask yourself the question, am I really fulfilling everything God has for me? Have I coasted? Have I gone through the routine because it's easy to fit in, when in fact you could be doing so much more? And it seems like you want something done. You ask a person that's already busy with a full plate, and they get it done. When there's someone that is very capable, but they don't seem to accomplish everything, you wonder, you scratch your head, why are they like that? Why are they not accomplishing anything? And I think they get in a comfort zone, and it's easy just to kind of coast in their Christian life. So I remind you today that the Bible is very clear. Without faith, it's impossible to please God. Christian life is to live by faith. We're to have faith in God. Faith steps out beyond reason. Faith steps out beyond ability. Faith is trusting the will of God to do great things. And so when you reach a point in the ministry where your church just sort of stabilizes, there is a danger that you could become just content. Well, that's the way it's going to be, and I'm happy with that. We should never be satisfied with where we're at, always pushing forward. Remember what Paul said? I press toward the mark. That idea of pressing means pushing ahead, going forward, stepping forth. To be honest with you, I think when it comes to the end of your life, you should still have dreams and visions and plans and ways that you can try to reach the lost and affect the church of God. So ask yourself, am I coasting, just happy with where I'm at, or am I pushing forward? Now, wait, a word of warning, there are people that just wear themselves out. I mean, you can have a nervous breakdown, and I know preachers that have. They just wore themselves the bone. It's possible to neglect your family. It's possible to neglect your health. I'm not suggesting that anyone do that. We need balance in the ministry, but we also don't want to coast, sit back without any stress, without any challenge, and just, I've known people that they have hobbies that take an immense amount of time when they could be meeting with people and visiting with people, discipling people, trying to get people saved, training young people, challenging young people to serve the Lord. So there are things that everybody can do, wherever you're at, whatever your situation, that you can press forward, that you can have a vision, that you can work hard. Anyone that has the idea that the ministry is a 40-hour work week or a 35-hour, 36-hour work week, that's not how the ministry works. It's more like a small business, and it takes your attention all the time. You're always thinking about sermons and people, how you can reach people, and it's on your mind all the time. And it may require physical labor, it may require emotional commitment, and obviously spiritual commitment. There really is nothing I can think of comparable to the ministry, because when you add the spiritual element, that changes everything. Paul's heart's desire for Israel is that they might be saved, and he said he wished he could give his life for the cause of Israel. I mean, there was a spiritual commitment to help people and see people who are lost, and had a vision to establish churches and strengthen churches. Even in their early church, in the book of Acts, it says they ceased not to teach and preach. They went publicly, means out in the parks and the meeting areas, and house to house. Sometimes we limit that idea of house to house. I believe that they spent time in a home. They just knocked on a door. They just didn't casually greet someone. They were going to homes, I believe, and going over Scripture and biblical truth and convincing people with Scripture that Jesus was Christ and discipling people. I believe it was an everyday occurrence that the Lord added to the church daily, such as should be saved. Now, we're not in that early church era. We're in a different culture, a different world. But we should always be seeking the Lord. How can I do more for Christ? How can I give my very best for Him? And someday we'll stand before the Lord and we'll give account of our lives. And the question will be, have you done your best for Him? Have you really? Just because you might be very talented and capable, and so you're probably doing as much as other people with less ability and less talent, but have you done your best? And great missionaries, great preachers in the past, they excelled at fulfilling the full will of God. They lived by faith. They stepped out in faith. They faced trials and difficulties by faith. Ask yourself, am I coasting, or am I doing all that I can for the cause of Christ? Well, God bless you. Hopefully some of these thoughts ring in your heart and mind, and hopefully you are doing your best. But if not, then stop and evaluate your life. Seek the Lord and ask forgiveness and say, Lord, I don't want to be just average. I don't want to be what the world calls normal. I want to be everything you want me to be. Well, God bless you. Have a good day.
Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed the podcast, consider sharing it with a friend. You can also follow at Dr. Townsley on Twitter or on Facebook at Jim Townsley.